Howdy, and welcome to the Lunch Table Podcast, a podcast where we barely get through the intros every week.
It's hard.
We mess up somewhere.
It's super hard.
Somehow we mess up. We put notes, we put sticky notes, and we still just crash.
Slimy.
And that man coming up with adjectives, that's right. My co-host, the one who taught me what adjectives were. Drew, my balls are always bouncing. Otsonizer.
I'm a walking Mad Lib.
I like that. Can that be your nickname every time?
I nutted myself 3 times in succession today trying to jump rope.
Oh, okay, first off, when you said that, I thought you were getting too excited. I thought you made your pants like... you ruined them. And the man who thought his co-host ruined his pants. Your host with the most.
Empty balls.
They get drained.
A hell of a thing.
They get drained more than what I want.
Too much.
Sometimes they're empty and people are still tapping it. You know. There's nothing in there. That's right, the guy with empty balls, Carl Jones.
Just shooting dust at this point.
This just screams help. 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 All right, let's get into it. Drew, you ever play Banjo-Kazooie?
No.
Ever? Never mind. There used to be these little guys that you would have to find. They were like special trophies. And as you're running through an area, they go, help! Help! Just like that, help! And that's what Peter does.
Is that the one that has like TNT barrels? Like,
no.
Is that
just Crash.
Where you like, oh.
Banjo-Kazooie is the one where you're a bear.
You got chicken on your back?
Yeah, you got chicken on your back, in the backpack.
Okay, but isn't Crash Bandicoot also a bear?
No, he's a bandicoot.
Which looks like a bear?
Kinda. I think it's a marsupial. Right?
I didn't even know that was a real thing.
A bandicoot?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real thing. But, like, it's so, like, it's like a hedgehog. It's like when you see Sonic and they're like, that's a hedgehog. And you're like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's like that drawn.
Okay.
Yeah. Anywho's, Drew, tell the people what you did, because you did a lot of studying for this week. So what are we going to go over?
We're going to go over some weird Nobel Prizes.
So how we got into this was I really wanted to look up studies that were really dumb, so I can make fun of scientists and college students that said they were smarter than me.
Yeah.
But when we looked into it, there really wasn't that many dumb ones. Because apparently...
there is...
it's just not Nobel Prize.
Yeah.
Not in a Nobel Prize.
We'll take you down our path. A
little later. But this is what we came up with. Before we get into that...
we're going to get dark.
Even better. So
There's so much death.
Always is in science.
Yeah.
Science is like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Science and religion. A lot of death. Any hoozles.
Yeah.
Any hoozles. Guess what I did over the weekend?
You get a round of applause because you did something good.
Yeah, I had to go do my barber practical. So,
yeah.
You know, I got my hours for my barber license a while ago.
Yeah, now you can shave people without somebody being there.
Now I'm dual licensed. Now I got my Cosmo and my barber. So, I signed up. I took my brother, right? You have to do a live model for like 3 things. Okay? I had to shave him. I had to give him a facial.
Nice.
Not a dirty facial.
Nice.
But a regular man facial.
You got practice in those.
Yeah. And then I had to give him a shave. Okay?
Okay.
So when I was going over the rules for all this, right, I had to bring everything. Every little thing.
To a specific orientation.
Yes, and everything had to be bagged separately.
Okay.
Okay? And be prepared for these things. So not only were you going to do 3 things on your live model, you had 4 things that you had to do to your mannequin also. And every little thing, I mean, not even a paper towel. I went to a barbering school to take this test, and I set all my stuff up on a regular station, but I couldn't use anything that was there. for some reason. Like, the one kid went to use a napkin, and they flipped out on him. But every little rule that you read in the barber thing, it said if you did not follow, automatic disqualification.
Nice.
Right? First off, I get there. I finally get there. I had to drive an hour something to get there.
Where'd you go?
Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Closest school is in Pittsburgh. Okay. Now, when I get in there, I can tell I'm the only dude not from this school.
Nice.
Okay? Since we all had to bring bags, they all have the same bag. Like, it's like this turquoise tote.
Yeah.
I got this big body bag. Dude, I had to bring my own garbage and my own garbage bags. And I wasn't allowed to leave any of my garbage on their premises. Wow. Or else that's disqualification.
Wow.
Dude, that's
kind of anal.
Right, dude? That's what I mean. Like, that's how anal this was. And it's supposed to simulate a regular barbershop experience, which it did horribly.
Yeah.
Because, like, I wouldn't have to make sure all my stuff's individually it would all be there.
Right.
And if I forgot something, you can just go to the back and get it.
Yeah.
You know, like, you wouldn't be starting a service anyways without all your instruments.
Unless it was for traveling barbers. Did you sign up for the right thing?
Well, I can't travel. Because my PA license does not work well with other states.
Yeah, but you travel all through PA.
Well, you could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's on you, I guess.
You just go up and down 79.
Yeah. Just... Any hoozles. I get there. I walk up.
College Friday.
Ooh. Dude, you get a lot of people there.
Yeah, I know.
If you,
good for the weekend.
I walked up to the lady, like, at the desk. Because I assumed I would have to sign my brother in. I'm like, excuse me. And she's like, they'll be with you. They'll call you. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, I don't have to sign it. They'll call you. Oh, okay, lady. Like, geez. Why are they so anal? Sit down. I'm waiting. Finally, they call all of us back. Everyone else was talking. I wasn't talking to them because I don't know them. Right? Our live models come in. They sit down. First thing they want us to do is a tapered haircut, just the back of the head.
So that your models don't even get a choice about...
No. Nope. You mess up their hair. Right? I had to fix it afterwards because I just did a haircut on the back of his head. That's it. Not the rest. Just the back. Right?
Okay.
That's what, because it's a tapered haircut and you had to have a live model. That was the first thing we had to do was stropping home. So you had to show that you can sharpen a razor. And the way they explain this, it's like going to a regular shop to do your work. But it's like, do you remember when you took your driver's test? And that dude from the DMV just sitting there all quiet watching you?
Yeah.
And you don't know why, but it kind of makes you nervous.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they were doing.
Because you know he has the power to fail you.
To fail you right there and then, right? And everything I read is if you do one thing wrong, automatic disqualification. So I'm kind of, a little nervous because I don't want to have to fail, pay it again, then have to drive and it took a whole day to do because it's an hour some away. It takes 2 hours to do the test. So I don't want to fail. Dude, they came over. My hand was like shaking.
It'd be different if like you were a student of that school where you already lived down there and you could just go again on Tuesday.
And I knew the teachers that were judging me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm the only one that nobody knows.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're watching me.
Yeah.
There's only 6 people, including me.
Were you flamboyant?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I didn't say a word.
Okay.
And I may have only been the one other white dude. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. I was saying, like, you weren't wearing pink and a fancy fancy dragon shirt, were you?
No. I couldn't. You're not allowed to.
Underneath your smock.
Your smock couldn't even have words on it.
Really?
No logos whatsoever. Right? How weird is that? Like, I can't have my school on my smock or like where I work? Nope.
Okay.
No logo allowed. Okay. So first, we did the strap and hone. So, first you sharpen the razor, then you hit it with the strap, which gets the burrs off. Mm. Okay. They sit there, they watch me do a couple passes, then they just walk away. I'm like, oh, okay. Then I'm sitting there, and they're like, okay, time for the haircut. They're like, you'll have 20 minutes to do this tapered haircut. Start. Now, every time you do something, you have to take the cape off and take everything off because you're supposed to act like it's a new client for every service.
Okay.
Dumb, I know, but you're supposed to.
I get that one. It's simulated.
So, I'm going ahead. I'm getting the haircut started. He comes over to watch me do like my first 2 swoops of the haircut. Like, Just the start of it. That's it. I never see him again. I get done with my haircut. I'm waiting. They're checking everybody else's haircut and telling them, like, okay, you can put your stuff away. Never came over to me. And then they're like, okay, time for the shave. And I'm sitting there like, dude,
you never said I was good.
Right, you never said I was good. You never told me to clean up. So I'm like rushing because the shave started and I don't even have my guy uncaped or cleaned up my area or anything yet. So I'm sitting there and I fly through it, right? And I go ahead and I get my brother all ready for the shave and we start doing the shave. And I shave a lot of people.
Yeah.
I picked up on the razor really early, but I've been working. So, like, people come in and want shaves all the time, dude.
Right.
So I freaking done. You know?
You cut him?
Okay, so there's one part on his chin. I go over his chin, which is one of the last areas. And I see a little bit of red. Now, if there's blood, you have to stop and do a bunch of biohazard stuff, and there's all these rules and yada yada. So I really don't want to have that happen, have to go through all those steps. So he wasn't bleeding, but it was looking red like, oh, it looks like it's about to, because Zach never shaves with the razor.
Right.
So I knew that could, his baby soft skin.
Yeah.
So what I do was I just put my thumb right on the chin where it was red, put pressure, and I shaved the rest of the bottom of his neck. Right? Then I shave his little soul patch because the soul patch is last. You don't have to have that sharp of a blade to shave right here.
Right.
So that's why you do it last. Anyways, shave there, let my thumb off. It's good. Nothing. I'm like, yeah. I was like, that's experience is what that is. Right? So I go ahead, I finish up. I look around, and dude, these students, I don't know who taught them to shave, but they left patches on their people. The one dude still had a goatee, like a full goatee. I'm looking at it like, what did you do? You didn't shave him. You know, like, did you even apply pressure? But
were you supposed to shave a different spot?
No.
Was that like
no? It's a full face shave.
Was that pube day that you didn't know about?
No, it's full face shave, and there's 14 steps to the shave in the directions that you have to go.
Yeah.
And that's what they want to see. They want to see if you know how to go in the proper directions in the proper way.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're hitting certain sides, you want to go with the hair.
Right.
Anywho, I'm looking. I'm like, oh, okay. And they really don't tell you you're done yet. And the ringer never goes off. If everyone's timed. Every little service is timed. Nothing ever goes off. Right? Never once did that timer go.
Right. Well, you don't have a timer at the shop.
Well, they do there. Because you're supposed to be able to work up to the time, and then once it rings, you're done.
Right.
Next service. Right? That indicates that it's supposed to indicate you're done with the one service, clean up.
Right.
Never happened. So, like, But
at the shop that you work at, you don't have a buzzer that says, okay, you're done, on to the next person.
Yeah,
like, you
but
consciously have to do that.
True. But also, if I need 5 more minutes on somebody, I can spend the 5 more minutes that I need on that person.
Right.
Which would fail there.
Yes.
This is what I mean. It's not very good at simulating the real thing. So, because, like, here's what happens. Some cuts you go 10 minutes over, but there's other cuts that people want, and it's a little more simple, right. And you catch up, you know? Any hoozles, I go, and now it's time. They tell, we're done with our guy. Well, I do the facial on Zach, and the funny part is, do facial, they get like a little band for their hair, right? A net, then a band goes over it. And the band that I picked was a bright pink one.
I bet he loved it.
Knowing Zach likes pink, but I also thought it would be funny to slap a pink thing on him, right? Anywho, they tell the people that are leaving, our little models, like, hey, they're going to be in here for another hour and 30 minutes. So go ahead.
Doing mannequins.
Yeah, doing mannequins. You got all this stuff. So they're calling out all the process for mannequins, and it's just kind of going quick, right? First, we do a haircut. Next thing is a permanent wave, the rollers, like a perm. And I'm struggling with the chemical cape at this point. It will not stay on the freaking mannequin's neck because the mannequin don't have shoulders. So it just keeps wanting to slide off the freaking mannequin. And by the time I finally get the cape on, they're like, you have 4 minutes to finish this service. I'm like, crap, I haven't even rolled one roller.
It's like my pants because I have no ass.
Yes. So I hurry up and I throw those suckers on, right? Real quick. My first 3 were real good. The other ones are kind of shaky, right? And I'm sitting there looking at like, ooh, that's rough. They come over to check. They tell me do test curl. I pull it out. I do test curl. They're like, okay, now take the rod out. So I just take it out. And they're like, oh, too quick. I was like, well, you didn't tell me how fast to take it out. You didn't say slow or fast or nothing. And they're like, oh, you did it too fast. So I take the curl and I curl it and I re-roll it and hold it, like a cosmetologist, because I've done many perms. So I hold it because they really just want to check the curl.
Right.
They see what they see, they leave. And we're just kind of going through it. And like I said, they would check me once or twice, but they're really checking everybody else. I get done. I'm feeling some kind of weird way. So I'm like, man, that was quick. I feel like I was rushing the whole time. I feel like I was behind everybody. Everybody was there, probably been running through those drills for the end of class for who knows how long.
Right.
And here I am trying to do it in between services. And my brother's like, man, I feel like they know that you've been working and had your license for a while, like a different license for a while. He's like, they never even checked my haircut or came over and checked my shave or nothing. I was like, I know, dude. I know. I was like, they never checked, like, hardly anything. The one, they had to check my haircut and they had to check how I sharpened because they just walked around to do that.
Right.
But they really never pointed me out. And then they're like, oh, it's going to take 48 hours or whatever to get your test results. So then I'm sweating bullets. Then out of nowhere, they send me an email at like midnight. So I check it and I end up passing.
Nice.
But it was a weird experience, dude.
C's get degrees.
C's get degrees. It didn't tell you. It didn't tell you what you got. Just pass or fail.
That's good.
And I honestly feel like, because I looked, every now and then you look around. I feel like they were just going, okay, did you guys follow the rules? And if you followed the rules, you just pass. Didn't have to be good.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, if half those people passed with those shaves, it was pretty bad.
I can see your train of thought here. I've been your friend for a long time now. It seems like this is one of those moments in your life, one of these key moments where you're like, nobody gave a shit, so I'm going to give a shit. I'm going to make my own school, and it's going to be hard as shit. And people are going to learn how to do it the right way. So, like, I'm going to do it my own damn self.
Yes, almost. Like, the whole time I'm going through it, you know how much I hate authority. So every rule, I'm like, what the fuck you. All right? Because
you'll have to dish authority.
I don't mind if it makes sense. But I hate authority. So, what was funny is when I was going over this, I was talking like, man, this is the way that it should go. First off, if you're a cosmetologist or a barber, you have to learn how to do facials. You have to learn how to do nails. You have to learn how to do chemical services like perms, all that. Yep. The only difference is a cosmetologist can wax for money. A barber can shave for money.
Oh.
Those are the only differences.
So now you can wax and shave.
Now I can wax and shave for money. But I think it should be set up a little different. Because when you're a barber, you don't do too many chemical services. You might color hair. But you're not doing perms.
Hey.
You're not doing highlights.
Hey, Eminem put out Houdini, man. You're going to get a lot of bleach blondes coming in.
Again, right? But even that's just, you just don't do a lot of that.
Yeah.
Right? And lots of times when people are going to get their hair colored, they go to a cosmetologist, usually a color specialist.
Right. I didn't even know that the barbershop was able to do that.
Yes. We don't have any of this stuff.
Okay.
But like under my license, I could do it. Right. Of my barber license. I didn't, not. And that's what was really dumb too, is you're having me retest on stuff the state already says I can do. Like the state is retesting me on stuff that they already said I'm allowed to make money on. Like the perm. Like I had to go and retest for a perm. Why? I have a Cosmo license that says already that I can make money.
But under those circumstances, then they figure, okay, you're already tested how to do it, then you should know how to do it.
Yeah, but it's a waste.
Trivially.
It's a waste of everybody's time then. You should have me come in there, and if I already have a Cosmo license, you should have me come in there and just do the stuff like the shave, the taper haircut, and like the barber services.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, okay, good, go. The rest of the stuff you don't have to do. But I was thinking, like, barbers should just focus more on haircuts. Okay? When it comes to barbering, it should be about shaves. It should be about cuts. It should be more about that. Not so much about nails, makeup, skin. You should know a little bit about skin, but that shouldn't be your main focus.
Yeah.
I think skin and nails should all be handled by estheticians and, like, nail techs.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think cosmetologists and barbers, just because they do hair, should be thrown into knowing basically nails and skin, because you barely focus on that anyways. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be as good as a nail tech.
Yeah. Or the little Chinese lady in the strip mall.
Exactly. You're just not, you don't go to...
what color you want?
Yeah, exactly. And so I think, like, really, if you want to be someone who cuts hair and also does nails and skin, you should have to get an esthetician license. I think Cosmo license should focus a lot on chemical services and thermal services, along with haircuts. But they really do, like, a lot of girls don't want too much hair cut off. Some do, but that shouldn't be the main, right? And that shouldn't be the main focus. The main focus should be, highlights, relaxers, perms, stuff like that. Stuff that they do all the time, chemical service wise, hair color. They should really focus on that. And then barbering should be a lot of judging on haircuts, because that's nice and tight haircuts. That's usually what a lot of barbering is. Like, if I was going to test someone to see how well they could barber, I would have them do a flat top, a bald fade flat top. A bald fade's the hardest fade, because you're going from nothing to something, and you have to make it look seamless.
See, you're already making these plans.
I know, dude.
You're gonna bump it up. You're gonna start your own school, and you're gonna be the Harvard of barbering.
First, I got to get on the board. And see, Jared and I were talking about this, and he's like, yeah, a lot of it's dumb, but he's like, unfortunately, once you get your license, you don't care enough to get on the board to change rules, because you already have your license. True. And I was like, yeah, dude, I feel it.
I don't know. It struck an accord with you.
Yeah, but that's a lot more schooling. I'd have to go. First, I'd have to wait a year. Then I'd have to get my barber manager's license, which I plan on doing that so I can apprentice people. Then after that, I would have to go get my barber teacher's license, which involves, I would have to go back to do a test and a practical. And the practical would be me teaching a lesson and writing something.
Which you're okay with.
Yeah, but not the writing part, not the studying part. Talking about writing and studying.
Just bring your brother.
Right? Right? Talking about writing and studying, Drew.
Do you have an evil twin somewhere?
Caden?
I was gonna say that you don't know of, but if you don't know of them, like, how would you know?
How would I know they're around?
I firmly believe that there is an evil twin of you, slightly uglier.
Nice.
That's just
that helps my ego.
That's really good at, like, math and writing.
Probably. Yeah. Really bad with people, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super awkward.
Acoustic as hell.
He has a lot of tisms.
He can't play bass for shit. I bet he plays guitar.
Yeah, he probably does. That or, like, the mandolin.
Piano.
Oh.
Very calculated.
Guitar.
Yeah, theremin.
He's like the cherry juice I have, a little tarty.
All right, bud. We'll go into our meat and potatoes here.
Okay, let's get into it. I know you want to get through all these.
Right.
I know you studied hard.
Right. We got a deep dive into this, and we're gonna get dark. We're gonna get real dark. A lot
darker than Sharon.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
For a reference.
Yeah.
For a skin reference.
Like testing on animals dark.
Drew, I want you to make like light brown, black, and put out darker. Put an arrow.
Okay. We're like, yeah, we're below the table.
What's that paint? The darkest paint?
Ultra black.
We're that.
No, Vanta black.
Oh, Vanta black.
Vanta black 2.0.
We're Vanta-ing right now.
So the main reason that we were talking about this is because you had heard about Alfred Nobel, the guy that the Nobel Prize is made after. He made dynamite.
Yes.
And he made a lot of money off of dynamite and other explosives, more importantly nitroglycerin, which led to adding sawdust to it, making dynamite.
Wow. That's all dynamite was?
Yeah. Nitroglycerin and sawdust. He did not have the best public image. As a matter of fact, when his brother died, a newspaper confused him with his brother and said, "The Merchant of Death is dead." And he became very rich, finding ways to kill people faster than ever before. So before he died, he decided to make the Nobel Prize, the namesake prize, in order to enhance his legacy.
Okay.
It was a
Me thing. A narcissist thing.
No, it was a public relations thing.
Ah, okay.
He left most of his money to the prize as a betterment.
Okay.
So it kind of turned a new leaf, if you want to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were laughing about the fact that the betterment of society is made by the guy who made dynamite.
Right. It's funny that
The thing used to kill people is used for the thing to help people now.
Exactly.
Okay? And I took that and ran with it. But we were sitting in my patio and we were talking about different experiments that you wanted to look at and different fun things. And I had found a whole bunch of weird experiments. And we'll go into those in another episode.
Okay.
We're not going to drop that.
Okay.
But those are called Ig Nobel Prizes.
Ooh.
They're funny. They're still for the betterment of people, but they're kind of off the wall. They're kind of crazy.
Okay.
They're the fun uncle.
Yeah, they're the out of box thinkers.
This is the mom and dad who beat you when you don't go to church.
Yeah. Gotcha. Got the Irish.
So I have a number of these, and I'll go through some of the weird stuff and see how you feel about it.
Okay.
First off, there are 5 different categories of the Nobel Prize. There is physics, there is chemistry, there is physiology and medicine, there is literature, and there is the Nobel Peace Prize.
Okay. Literature, huh?
Yes. Just you wait.
Oh, okay.
That's one of my favorites.
You wrote something very well. It saved us.
So the first guy, Antonio Egas Moniz. In 1949, Moniz won the Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine for inventing a surgical procedure to treat mental illness by cutting connections between parts of the brain. What did he make?
He's the one who scrambled. I forget what it's called.
Starts with an L.
Lobotomy.
Lobotomy. He is the
He
father of the lobotomy.
He got a prize for just messing people's brains up.
Yes.
Hey, do you know if you're really violent and we just take a stick and scramble their brains?
Oh, it's so much worse than that.
Oh, God.
We'll get into it here. Moniz had the idea that some forms of mental illness were caused by abnormal sorts of stickiness in nerve cells, causing neural impulses to get stuck and the patient to repeatedly experience the same pathological ideas.
I see where he's coming from.
Yeah, it's not too far.
But it also sounds kind of made up.
He thought that if the nerve fibers causing these morbidly fixed ideas could be destroyed, that the patient might improve. In November 1935, he and his assistants made the first attempt at this type of surgery. His first procedure involved cutting holes in the skull of the patients and injecting ethanol into the brain to destroy the fibers that connected the frontal lobe to other parts of the brain. Just the frontal lobe.
The decision part.
Yes.
Oh, let's just mess the decision part up of the brain. I can't see anything going wrong.
He later introduced a surgical instrument called a leucotome, which is a type of loop of wire that when rotated creates a circular lesion in the brain.
Okay, right now, as we sit, what's the difference between him and Jeffrey Dahmer?
Oh, wait. We'll get into it.
Okay. Okay, because he sounds very Jeffrey Dahmer-ish.
At first, he used an ordinary ice pick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does, dude. When I need to do delicate things, I always grab my ice pick.
Then later switched to an instrument called an orbitoclast, which is best described as a modified ice pick.
He went and modified it. It was like, I made a new tool.
This will be inserted through the patient's eye socket using a hammer and then moved side to side to separate the frontal lobe from the thalamus,
Oh my
the part of the
God.
brain that receives and relays sensory input.
Were the people knocked out?
With the advent of anti-psychiatric drugs, the practice of the lobotomy ceased. Most of the time, no.
Oh my God! And he's just pounding a freaking ice pick in your eye?
Uh-huh.
And they gave him a prize.
In 1941, the American Medical Association warned against lobotomies, but by the time Moniz received his Nobel Prize, 10,000 had been performed in the United States alone.
10,000!
Most were on women, and many patients died and were left permanently harmed.
Well, no shit!
Those still alive were described as drooling zombies.
Ethanol is fuel for a car.
Right.
Ethanol is fuel.
Right.
This dude was drilling holes in skulls, putting just gas. Like, yeah.
But thinking that it worked.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it... Jeffrey Dahmer thought if he put acid in their brains that he would make zombies and they could stay forever.
Right.
Where's his award? Is it because he didn't document his?
Adolf Hitler was actually nominated for the Peace Prize.
Oh, my Atlanta.
There's so much controversy.
This is why I wanted to look this
All
up.
right, on to the next one.
Yes.
Fritz Haber. Can you guess where he's from?
Germany.
Yes. The Haber-Bosch process is generally credited with keeping Germany supplied with fertilizers. And during the war, what he did is took the nitrogen from the air, compressed it. Well, actually, took the whole air, compressed it from the atmosphere, and was able to pull off the nitrogen.
Oh, that's
The
pretty
nitrogen was then injected into different fertilizers and soils to make increased rates of
cool. The plants need the nitrogen.
Yes.
You're basically making Miracle Grow
Yes.
almost.
He took it a completely different direction.
Oh.
During the war, he took his energies and threw them into an institute into further support of the German side. He developed a new weapon, poison gas. The first example was chlorine gas,
Oh, no.
and he supervised its initial deployment in 1915.
This is he won.
I'll get you there.
Okay.
Chlorine is a diatomic gas and about 2.5 times denser than air. So if you try and breathe something 2.5 times denser than air, you suffocate. Pale green in color and with an odor described as a mix of pineapple and pepper.
Ugh.
So glad we have pop filters.
Pineapple and pepper.
It can react with water and in the lungs to form hydrochloric acid.
So you breathe this
When
gas
it
and
breathes
it goes into your lungs and it makes acid in your lungs because of the moisture.
Correct.
So he's burning your lungs from the inside.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That is destructive to tissue and can lead to death or at least lung damage and disability.
Oh.
During this first test of using this chlorine gas, he decided to open the valves on 5,730 canisters of chlorine gas.
Why? So, listen, we need to test this. Oh, okay. How much do you want to test? All of it. Just
Pretty
set
much.
all of it off.
Pretty much.
If it doesn't work, then it needs to be wasted anyways.
It was deemed so successful with 1,100 deaths that he was soon promoted to captain and a year later would be the director of German Chemical Warfare Service.
Oh my God.
His next choice was phosphine gas.
Oh!
Then he developed mustard gas.
Why is this dude getting awards?
And the last one is Zyklon A and Zyklon B, which was used in concentration camps.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of an award? Who should get that?
His promotion of this frightening weapon caused the suicide of his wife, who herself was a chemist and condemned him for his wartime role.
Amen.
He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1918 for the synthesis of ammonia from its elements.
No.
So
No. Listen, I get that being able to compress air and take what you want out of it is an impressive feat. That was awesome for the rest of the world.
yeah.
But what you continued to do with it,
Oh yeah.
no. You should have not gotten an award.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What's funny is after he tested the chlorine gas, 3 years later he got the Nobel Prize.
Why?
They already determined that he was a bad guy, and
Yes.
they gave it to him anyways.
Dude, during that time, listen, the only reason they gave it is because during that time they honestly thought Germany might win. You're sitting there like, oh, geez, they're about to win.
Let's pat our luck here.
America hasn't jumped in yet. Here, let's just give them the award.
All right, I got a quick one here. Gerard Moreau, the ultra belief and ultra sharp beams that he made can be used to make extremely precise cuts so that their techniques can now be used in laser machining and enables doctors to perform different surgeries.
Oh, cool.
What happened in his experiment is his lab assistant bent over the laser without proper laser equipment and got shined in the eye with the laser and burned. That guy went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "What kind of laser were you using?" And the guy said, "It's a top secret laser. We can't talk a lot about it." And he goes, "Well, you need to tell us about it because it fixed all your eye problems." So that essentially turned into laser eye surgery to correct cataracts.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So a dude like basically tripped. A laser went bzzz. He's like, fuck. I feel like I'm blind. But really, like, if I got zapped and I could see better, why am I going to a doctor?
Right. Now.
Well, to be fair, after surgery, you are blind for a little bit.
Yeah. But think about this. If it made one eye better, wouldn't you try it on the other eye? And then you got to be sitting there going, I got to try to recreate this as quick as I can on the left side.
Well, what are the odds? Because I'm assuming it had to hit the exact right spot.
Yeah.
It had to hit the cataract.
Yeah.
So what are the odds that it hits exactly where you need to, just when you accidentally fall into it?
Yeah.
like if anything, Mother Nature should get that award.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Mother Teresa got a Nobel Peace Prize.
yeah, she shouldn't have. we talked
We've already
about
been
her.
over that.
We talked about her.
All right, another quick one here. X-rays. The physicist Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen was busy experimenting on a cathode ray tube in his laboratory in
Germany.
Yeah. In 1885, when he noticed a mysterious glow emanating from a chemical-coated screen nearby. He tried to block the glow with his hand and noticed that the glow projected his bones onto the screen. He replaced the screen with a photographic plate, and presto, the first X-ray was born.
So he's just messing with radiation.
Oh, yeah. Dude, when you see the bones in your hand, that should have been a big no-no.
Yes.
But he kept going.
Right. He's like, whoa, this is sweet. I can do something with this.
I feel that part. After you do it the first time, you're like, whoa, that's cool. You probably don't do it again.
Okay, so you're messing with radiation. And you don't protect yourself at all? Like, they know radiation poisoning at this point is a thing, right?
1885.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so he had no idea. Nah, this is like your dad using brake cleaner for his hands.
Yeah.
Shh, let me get that oil off.
All right. This is our most disturbing story of the night.
Uh-oh. This is the dark.
This is the dark one.
Uh-oh. This is the sweet juice.
On the 25th of October, 1923, it was decided to award the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine to Frederick Grant Banting and John James Ricard McLeod for the discovery of insulin. Great thing.
Wonderful thing.
Great thing.
Yeah. How did they get there?
Back in the late 1880s, two doctors were researching the pancreas's role in digestion when they removed the pancreas from a dog. kind of dark. They were testing on animals. And they noticed afterwards flies were suddenly gathering around the dog's urine. They tested it only to find higher sugar content than normal, which is how they worked out that they actually accidentally gave the dog diabetes.
Just okay. So they were just injecting it with things so they could take out his pancreas,
Yes.
and something they injected it with to take out his pancreas gave him diabetes.
Yes. They were testing on multiple dogs, different levels, and they found that one of them that had passed away, they pulled the pancreas out and found out that I was diabetic.
Oh, okay. So they were looking for a diabetic dog.
Kind of. It's an accident that it came out to be diabetic.
Okay.
As you may have noticed, the number of dogs and dates don't really correlate. They had 403 dogs.
Oh my God.
The insulin in this, or the pancreas dog, was number 403.
Oh!
Which was my first jump to it. They actually didn't have 403 dogs. There were actually 33 dogs, but all of them died from May to December of 1921.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just killing dogs.
Right. In the very early stages of this trial,
Yeah.
they found a patient who was diabetic, Leonard Thompson, who was 14 years old.
Oh, poor guy.
He was dying of diabetes, and they injected him with insulin to see if it would help. He recovered and lived to a sharp old age of 27,
Oh, wow.
where he died from pneumonia.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine finally? So, like, okay. So back in the day, when people had diabetes, did they not know it? And they just noticed that they reacted bad to, like, sugary things and just stayed away from it? Not knowing what it was?
I would gather so. There wasn't a lot of processed sugars, so there wasn't a lot of people that were
That's
diabetic
true.
to begin with.
That's true. So this would have to be kind of natural, like natural diabetes or something where someone's body just couldn't handle it.
Well, this is 1923 that they were given the Nobel Prize when, the Industrial Revolution had already come through and things were starting to be factory made.
Yeah.
So things were starting to be more mass produced.
That's true. And this is when, like, the snakes salesmen and all them were going around.
Right. When Coca-Cola had cocaine in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So people probably were starting to get diabetes at this point.
Yeah.
You figure right now, even though people do get diabetes, we're already used to those refined sugars.
Right.
Because we're so many generations in.
Yeah.
The first generation wouldn't have stood a chance.
No. All right. Comes the fun part here. As I was going through, I was noticing that there's a lot of weird ways that they identify literature.
Okay, wait.
the Nobel Prize.
I'm sorry. Back to the dogs real quick
Good.
and the diabetes. If none of the dogs lived, why did they think it was okay to try it on a human?
Yeah.
If never once did it work, why did they just stick a human?
I'm so glad you followed that breadcrumb.
Why?
Because it was 1918 and he just did it.
No one gave him the right. What if he killed him? Was he a murderer then? I'm having a hard time figuring out the difference between a murderer and a scientist back in the day.
There was an FDA at that point. 1903.
Okay.
Going into the fun thing.
Okay.
The summary that they use in the award ceremony for literature award recipients, they're very, very weird. And they don't particularly say, they used to at the very beginning of the Nobel Prizes. Like, say, for his work on this particular novel that does this and makes you really think, like critical thinking. Or some of the other ones, like, helped bring light to the war in China.
Okay.
Or something like that. They've been since modernized.
Oh, God.
And some of them are really bad. All right. In
right.
2023, John Foss won, and this is the summary, for his innovative plays and prose, which gave voice to the unsayable. Yeah.
What the unsayable?
Yeah.
What's the unsayable?
A lot of these are things that you think of a good author would be.
Yeah.
If you are not these things, you shouldn't be selling books.
Right.
You should go above and beyond the bare minimum of making money in literature for this.
Well, to me, this prize should really not have anything to do with how many books you sold. It should. What
doesn't.
information is preserved in those notes?
It does.
Okay.
So, like the one in 2022, Annie Ernix. This is a good one. This is what I expect should be said. For the courage and clinical acuity in which she uncovers the roots, estrangements, and collective restraints of personal memory.
Now that's
very
good.
well put together.
Very well.
Very wordy.
Yeah, I don't know half those words, but that sounds like something a scientist would say.
Right.
It makes me think she's smart.
2020, for her unmistakable poetic voice that with austere beauty makes individual existence universal.
What does that mean?
That should be something that every author that gets this award should have.
Yeah.
Was the pool just so low in 2020 that they're like, it's your turn, go ahead.
100% did.
All right.
I don't even know, like, what would be left to be discovered. Besides, like, cloning or something.
Yeah.
Maybe you're writing about that. I don't know. Other than that, it's like it's already kind of been written about.
Okay, so
what about One Piece?
I have two here that just... These are the best ones that I could think of.
Okay. You want to end on them?
No, I got one more thing.
Nice, okay.
In 1974, Harry Martinson, the summary is, for writings that catch the dewdrop and reflect the cosmos.
That sounds like a fairy. That sounds like someone was trying to write a poem.
Next one. In 2008, Jean-Marie Gustave Lecleos, author of New Departures, Poetic Adventures, and Sensual Ecstasy, explorer of a humanity beyond and below the reigning civilization. That sounds like smut.
Yeah, I was going to say, so dark, wet sex. Dark and wet and sex. Come read my book. It will save you.
Some of these are just wild. And you're like, oh my God, could they not have done better?
It makes me think of all these people that are in charge of, like, the food standards. You see who's ever in charge of the food standards, and is always someone who's really big and doesn't look healthy.
Oh, yeah.
And they're the one determining the health for the whole country. And you go, something doesn't seem right.
All right. So the last one that I got here, this is a Nobel Prize winner. And not necessarily his Nobel Prize experiment that is exciting. He won it in physiology and medicine, where he can basically take DNA and copy and paste it.
Oh, okay.
That way it can be mass produced in certain things.
Yeah, like okay. That's what they're doing with your DNA when you sell it to Ancestry and me.
Yeah.
Copying it.
He has a reputation, Carrie Mullis has a reputation for erratic behavior. At his first job, he once threatened to bring a gun to work.
Oh, God.
And he also engaged in public lover quarrels with his then girlfriend, who was a fellow chemist at that company.
What's up with these scientists, man?
Repressed.
They're all repressed.
He nearly came to blows with another scientist at a staff party.
Well, come on. That wouldn't have been much of a fight.
When he left that company in 1992, he founded a business to sell pieces of jewelry containing the amplified DNA of deceased famous people such as Elvis Presley and Marilyn Monroe. Pretty cool.
So he somehow had their DNA?
Yeah.
And then he was trying to copy them? Or he just improved their DNA?
He expanded it and then sold the jewelry.
Oh, okay. So he made.
Yeah.
Okay, so he made DNA jewelry.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was smart.
In his Nobel Prize lecture, he remarked that on the December 16th breakthrough, he did not make up for his girlfriend breaking up with him. He said, I was sagging as I walked out to my little Honda Civic. My assistant, neither my assistant, empty Beck's bottles, or the sweet smell of dawn of the age of PCR, which is his experiment, could replace Jenny. I was lonesome. He said this in front of everybody while he was receiving the award.
He didn't care. He wants Jenny. I love you, Johnny.
In college, in his graduate studies, he made a clandestine lab. So he pretty much made a meth lab.
Oh.
Yeah. Specializing in the synthesis of LSD.
So he made LSD.
Yes. His friend knew he was a good chemist because he had been synthesizing the hallucinogenic drugs at UC Berkeley.
Was it illegal then?
Mullis said, back in the 1960s and 70s, I took plenty of LSD. A lot of people were doing it at Berkeley back then, and I found it to be a mind-opening experience. It was certainly more important than any of the courses I ever took. During a symposium, he told everybody that he had done LSD, and it helped him develop the thing that he won the Nobel Prize for.
Doesn't surprise me, dude. A lot of these people, that's why now they're starting to use it for a lot of stuff, but hallucinogenics, man, they can open certain things. Are they for all time use? Probably not. But they can jar some stuff loose.
There is another cause afterwards called the Nobel disease, where after you get your Nobel Prize, you start not caring about it because you've won the highest award that you can, and then you start going down a deep, dark hole.
Oh.
Okay? So some of the things in his hole is he said that he had witnessed non-substantial forms of his deceased grandfather and even offered it beer. In his autobiography, he professed that a belief in astrology and wrote an encounter with a fluorescent talking raccoon that he suggested might have been an extraterrestrial alien.
Could have been. It could have been. Could have been a painted raccoon. He could have been high.
Right. He also doesn't believe in climate change or that HIV causes AIDS, which has already been proven.
That's really radical.
Yeah.
Wow. That's climate change. A lot of people were fighting that for a long time.
Yeah.
And until they realize, like, oh, it is changing.
Yeah. He doesn't believe that there's a hole in the ozone.
Oh, nice. Yeah, just denial. You know, that will fix everything. I feel like he's just saying this stuff to be
relevant.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think he believes it.
Possibly.
I don't know. So, dude, that's when scientists are different types of people.
Oh, yeah.
And this is what I mean. When they tell you they're genius, this is why just because you say you're genius, it doesn't impress me.
Kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah, it usually means, like, your emotions have to go. Something goes for that intelligence.
Right. 43 dogs.
Damn. Dude, think about it. Your thirst for knowledge, because that's what it is. They need to know that answer so bad that they're willing to kill 43 dogs.
Yeah.
Inject a person without even knowing if it's going to work.
He got lucky on that one.
Yeah, he did. He did. Insulin, and it was dumb that they were doing it on dogs. Like, I understand you need to test animals, but at least try to pick an animal that's close to a human.
Yeah.
You know? Like, at least do it on pigs. So, like, a dog doesn't work any of the, like, nothing like we work.
There were some theories that he tried it on chimpanzees, too. But
I could see it.
Yeah.
Listen, before PETA, a lot of dead animals.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
But they had silky smooth hair.
I was going to say, scientists would be like, oh, we need to make a shampoo. We're going to have to kill like 40 rabbits. Before we find the formula. Like, dude, it's just meant to clean your hair.
Dude, so many fucked up things.
Oh, dude, science, funny thing. And like, the more you look into these studies, LSD that's not the first time
No.
it has been in a study or people have used it to study.
Right.
There's many of people who are, I swear to God, we're just druggies. I can convince them, like, hey, this is science.
I'm a scientist.
Right. Like, yeah. But literally, the Navy paid a man on LSD that convinced him that he could control dolphins for weapons. And they paid him for like 10 years.
Yeah.
It went nowhere.
Oh, it's somewhere.
Well, it did. It led to us studying dolphins and then SeaWorld.
Thank that guy for Shamu.
Right, Blackfish documentary. Drew?
We're on Anchor, Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts at the Lunch Table PBJ. That's probably how you're listening to us right now, so if you are...
Keep go ahead and doing that.
Yeah. We're on YouTube and Rumble at the Lunch Table PBJ. That's probably how you're watching us right now, so if you are...
Keep go ahead and doing that.
Yep. We're on Twitter at Lunch Table PBJ. That's how you can stay up to date on some of the stuff that we're doing, as well as take care of our polls.
I love it when you take care of our polls.
Damn right. We're on Facebook at the Lunch Table PBJ, as well as our fan page, The Munchies. That's how you can really stay up to date in everything that we're doing, as well as give us some tips, give us some tricks.
Yes, we always love your tips. And just the tips.
We're on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts at the Lunch Table PBJ. This tip lover over here is in charge of that, and he does a wonderful job.
Yes.
He's pretty good.
Drew,
Yeah.
what is the poll for this week? I got it.
Hit it.
You don't have one.
Hit it.
Okay. What do you think would be the better hallucinogen for science? LSD or shrooms?
Okay.
Or peyote. We'll put that in there too.
Okay.
It's a good hallucinogen. There you go. Which one do you think brings out more science?
Okay. Lastly, we're on Patreon at the Lunch Table PBJ. If you want to be one of those people that gives a little bit extra, that's the way to do it.
We love it when you give a little extra. Just like the gum. Go ahead. A little extra, like $1 million. Just throw $1 million in there. We'll know what to do with it.
I was going to throw out a guarantee, but I can't do that.
We'll show up on your birthday party.
We will not use less than 10% for LSD.
Right. We'll do our own science projects with our own LSD and hookers and blackjack.
Think YouTube would allow a podcast on LSD?
Not if we didn't tell them. Well, I mean, if we didn't tell them.
Gotta have to.
I wouldn't say it.
I'd put it in the summary. I have no filter.
I would just leave a bunch of clues. Maybe have Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds playing.
Copyright.
Damn it. Maybe just...
There'll be signs.
Yeah, you'll know when I'm rubbing myself a little too much.
That's ecstasy.
Maybe you don't know what you're gonna think of when you're on acid, dude.
Oh yeah, this last guy that I was talking about,
Yeah.
he also created the predecessor to DMT.
Of course he would. Of course, he's someone who shouldn't have been allowed to mess with chemicals.
See, dude, take us home.
Drew, thanks for being you.
Sure.
And doing all this wonderful studying.
Yeah.
I'm happy we got through it, dude. That was awesome. I loved it all. You did amazing. Thank you for watching like you always do here live. Thank you for stopping in, watching, or listening, however you're doing it. We always appreciate everybody supporting us. We love all our subscribers. And if you aren't subscribed, we love you not as much. I never said we don't love you, just not as much as our subscribers.
So subscribe. Jump up that level.
Now,
or comment. You know, there's always something else.
my advice for everyone today is don't be scared to make mistakes because sometimes they lead to scientific awards. trip and fall in a laser. It's okay. Everything will work out well. That's what we learned today. If you take LSD, you get an award. If you kill but you document it properly, you get an award.
Right. If you die in a cool way, you become a martyr.
Yeah. Perspective means everything. That's what I think that's a true lesson. Pass.
See ya.
What is this?
Long hair.
It's like white. Who has long white or blonde hair? Not me.
Don't look at me. Hey, don't look.
Is it one of your wigs?
No, I haven't been here with one. I have my hair braided.
Who you bringing down here?
Whoa! Don't you be throwing me under the bus.
Whoa.
We both picked up that hitchhiker.
You're